Hi there, this is Tony Barton on Watch Kansas. And here we are just a few days away from the biggest election of our lifetime. I know many have already made up their minds. Upwards of 90 million people have already voted. I wanted to address a specific group today. I'm not sure how much difference it will make this close to the election, but I'm going to say it anyway. In 2016, approximately 42 million evangelical Christians didn't vote. That is a lot of people who stayed out, who neglected their civic duty. I find this troubling and have tried to grasp the reasons why, because it may happen again. Christians not voting or voting against their principles. It appears from interviews, articles, and comments of some of the big names in Christianity, the Christian elite, they're called, that this decision to not participate or vote against principles is centered around their dislike of the personality and the supposed lack of moral convictions of President Donald J. Trump. We are told that he is an immoral, self-centered human being, among other things, and should not be supported. Donald Trump has recently said he is not a Presbyterian any longer, that he is a non-denominational Christian. Who knows, he might be. The thing that astounds me, regardless of how he is defined, is the obvious denial, or better yet, the outright and blatant disregard of the great things he's accomplished. I remember when Donald Trump was first elected, I was really concerned. I never watched his show, never read any of his books. I had limited knowledge about who he was. What was this man with no political background going to do? Almost immediately, he was attacked. Even prior to taking office, there was a coup taking place involving the previous administration and security agencies in an attempt to have him thrown from office. It was said and repeated that he was in cahoots with Russia to win the election. He was impeached over a phone call with the president of the Ukraine. The media attacked him relentlessly. It seemed that every turn and every decision, he was opposed not only by the Democrat Party, but some of his own team. Nothing he did, absolutely nothing made any difference, and according to the opposition and the media, he could do no right. This is what caught my attention. Hold on now. How is it that nothing he either said or did was right? It made no sense. And you would have to be blind or uninformed to believe these lies. Fake news. As Christians, we understand at times when someone is fighting the good fight, they can find themselves under direct assault by the enemy and his minions. I remember when the president announced his recognition of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and that we would soon be moving our embassy there. That was amazing. And then to actually do what other presidents talked about but did nothing was extraordinary. He wanted to bring American businesses back to the United States. Shocking. He wanted to keep illegals out of the country, keep America safe, and at the same time have people who wanted to migrate to America do it the right way, through citizenship, assimilation. He wanted our pharmaceuticals to be made in the United States and not in China. Things like cancer drugs, diabetic meds, vaccines, and other medicines that our enemy is making for us. Our medicines, the stuff we take when we're sick or dealing with serious conditions. It makes total and complete sense that the enemy of America was taking care of our health needs. He took us out of the Paris Climate Agreement because the United States wants dirty air and water, unlike China and India, who have done such a great job keeping the air and water free of contaminants. He wants NATO countries to pay their fair share for our support and help. How dare he require them to do that? Seriously, what is he thinking making countries who owe pay? Outreach to minority groups through the Platinum Plan, a plan with billions of dollars going to help Black and minority communities and businesses. What a racist. School choice so that parents can send their kids to decent schools. Nah, let's keep dumbing down our children and using them as guinea pigs of public school indoctrination. That's the means by which they will succeed. Oh, the wall. He wants to protect our southern border and border states from being overrun by illegals, including violent gangs like MS-13. The hater. He wants to protect the unborn child and religious liberty. You must know the other side wants to do the exact opposite, right? So tell me, what is wrong with any of this? This is a short list. There is so much more. How about prison reform? Oh, wait a minute. I understand now. It's him, Donald Trump. You know, Orange Man Bad. He's the one doing these things. How could he? He is evil and immoral and should not be in charge of anything, let alone the United States of America. At least that is what the left and supposed Christian elites tell us. I've heard everything from Christians should not vote, speak on issues, or be involved in politics, and never, ever support a person like Donald Trump. Unless, of course, you're a Christian supporting a person like Joe Biden and the corrupt Biden crime family, then it's okay. Because Joe and his family are upright, moral, and honest. And he will rid the world of COVID, bring unity and a strong economy back to America because he's looking out for you and me. Here's a quote from one of these elite ministers. He has issued a blistering condemnation of President Donald Trump, warning Christian voters that the president's, and I quote, deadly behavior will lead the U.S. to destruction of more kinds than we can imagine. Just wow. It's funny, I don't remember any of these warnings during the Obama presidency. You know, when he gave $150 billion to Iran, our enemy, put children in cages, supported abortion, and gave millions to Planned Parenthood to murder babies. How many of you ministers pulled the lever for Obama? How many Christians voted for him? Why? Because he was a pillar of integrity and morality and humanity? But Tony, it was historic. Come on, man. Another Christian elite, a bishop, said, Trump is a white supremacist, has white privilege, hates black and Mexican people. He states that Trump is a disgusting, putrid orange stain in the fabric of America and a debilitating, malignant cancer in the body politic, and anyone supporting Donald Trump is a racist. Can you feel it? Can you feel the spirit? Ooh, hatred. Now that is the heart of a bishop sharing the truth of God with his people. Not really. I wonder, what do these elitists think of such leaders in the Bible? You know, the immoral ones like Noah, Moses, David, drunkards, murderers, and adulterers. You know, broken men God used to get things done. How dare God do something like use broken people to accomplish great things? Who does he think he is? A better question is, who do these supposed elites think they are? Who made them the arbiter of what is the acceptable? And the audacity of any pastor, minister, priest, or otherwise to tell Christians not to vote? It's despicable and it's just wrong. I suppose they plan on not voting ever because there will never be a person who meets their standards, you know, perfect as they are. I said this in a previous episode, but we are much closer to election day since then. 3 days and we vote for one of 2 candidates for President of the United States. One wants to make and keep America great. The other supports shutting down the country if he is advised to do so. One supports the rule of law and law enforcement and the safety of America and its citizens. The other will defund the police and make our neighborhoods and communities unsafe. That's a great thing for our children and grandchildren. Only one of these men are going to protect freedom and liberty. Only one has stood for the sanctity of human life. Only one is America first. Only one recognizes we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, not, you know the thing. For the millions who may not vote, knowing what is at stake, the contrast between the two candidates and their plans for you and I, the unborn in our nation, what possible explanation can you give? This quote is worth repeating again. Silence in the face of evil is evil itself, and God will not hold us guiltless. Not to speak is to speak, and not to act is to act. Eric Metaxas, host of the Eric Metaxas Show and the best-selling author, says this: Christians need to realize that while it isn't woke to vote for Trump, they need to do so. Not because they like the guy, but because his policies and the people he puts in place have a basic American constitutional view which will, in the end, be fairer and present more opportunities to everybody. He said you have to make a moral choice, and you can't divide politics and your faith. If your faith is lived out, it's going to have to deal with policy and laws and morality. If you're worried about losing parishioners, you're worried about the wrong things. You should fear God and fear not speaking when he calls you to speak. That's the role of what it is to lead spiritually. And I couldn't have said that any better. Dr. James Dobson put it like this when he gave a stern warning to America's Christians. He says, either vote your values or lose your country. This is not a junior high or high school popularity or personality contest. He says, I'm not voting for the person, I'm voting for the platform. I'm voting for the Second Amendment. I'm voting for the next Supreme Court justice. I'm voting for the Electoral College. I'm voting for the Republic. I'm voting for the future of my country. And I will add, I am voting for religious freedom, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Until next time, be courageous. God bless.